The Rock is influencing backstage WWE decisions. We've got the latest on Hangman Page's AEW status, and a major presentation change to WrestleMania 40 has been announced, and you don't want to miss it. Stay tuned for all the deets. Now, after everything that's sort of gone on with the Endeavor, TKO merger, WWE, UFC, Vince in, Vince out, Vince back in, Vince out, you know, everything that's going on. The Rock then came in. The Rock is sort of involved at the TKO level. XFL's now involved. Like, there's a lot going on, but The Rock now appears to be in sort of a position of quite firm power within TKO as an organization.
Absolutely. Like, he's on the board of directors. The Rock is like, he's one of the guys.
And not only is he gearing up for a match at WrestleMania, but he's also, just sort of prominent. He's everywhere. He's all over the branding. The Rock's like back now.
Yeah, like
he's posting socials.
He's Mr. WWE.
Yeah. But beyond his upcoming tag team match with Roman Reigns against Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes Mania weekend, his influence is apparently reaching further. According to sources within WWE, as reported by Fightful Select, The Rock has provided input on the selection of inductees for this year's WWE Hall of Fame. Cyndi Lauper, you monsters. Put her in the Hall of Fame.
She needs to be in there.
She's the reason you're as popular as you are in the bloody first place.
She needs to be in there.
So the extent of The Rock's impact will apparently become more evident with the announcement of the remaining members of this year's class. Notably, a source from WWE has revealed to Fightful that The Rock played a role in choosing all of the year's inductees.
The perfect heel move right now would be
the entire Anoa'i bloodline.
I was going to say, the Anoa'i family putting The Rock in the Hall of Fame this year. Imagine the heat that he'd get if he puts in the family.
He should just have the Anoa'i wing.
Yeah, that's an entire wing of the Hall of Fame.
They get like 2 rings.
Two, because
they're better than everybody.
Yeah, they're better. Yeah. Well, I'm not surprised that The Rock is getting some influence here. Clearly they've brought him onto the board for a reason.
He also has his finger on the pulse a hell of a lot more than someone like Vince ever did. And it's like, Jesus, like we've got somebody who understands probably memes to a reasonable degree.
Well,
this is huge.
2 of the first people going into the Hall of Fame this year, Paul Heyman, Bull Nakano. Mm-hmm. I feel like those are names. Paul Heyman, obviously, they've wanted for a while, but Bull Nakano has been someone that the fans have wanted in there for a while, but we've not had. Is this The Rock's influence? He's
Possibly.
like, I've been watching a lot of Bull Nakano matches. Get her in.
I was also thinking, could it be people from around the time The Rock started out? He obviously mentioned that Goldust is a future Hall of Famer last night, which is something that under the Vince regime we would have never have even had an illusion to Goldust existing anymore.
Yeah, right.
But part of me feels like it could be names from back at the New Gen era, tail end of that into Attitude. Part of me feels like it could be Anoa'i family, story-driven stuff.
Yeah.
Part of me also feels it could be Hollywood people.
Oh, you could. I mean, to be fair, you might have a lot more Hollywood connections to bring in for celebrities.
Guys, Henry Cavill, come here. Get in the Hall of Fame.
Hugh Jackman should be in the Hall of Fame.
You tell every single person how nice I am at Disney. Let's make this work. Let's make this happen.
Well, I'm excited to see what more picks he's going to choose. I guess we'll find out in the coming weeks.
Well, moving back a little bit toward, we touched on the Vince situation there. For decades, Jim Ross has collaborated closely with Vince McMahon, or at least did for quite a large stretch of his career, fulfilling roles not only as a commentator, but also his head of talent relations and many, many backstage roles within the company. But during a recent episode of his Grillin' JR podcast, he brought up the current departure of Vince McMahon from the company, but he said, I'm tired of it. It's embarrassing in a lot of ways that it's happened this way. It's affected a lot of innocent people. That's my take on it. It's time to move on. It's time to move on and cause some rest and peace for some people, and it's time to move on, in my opinion. So JR just wants to be able to move beyond it, and it's no surprise that, it's someone who's worked so close with him. I wouldn't expect any, more than what he said, but it's one of those where, like, how do you even approach it? I guess if you know Vince personally, like, how do you even come to terms with that, right? Because we've seen things like John Cena having maybe an opinion that a lot of people were divided by and quite shocked by, especially given his current standing as a celebrity outside the world of wrestling and how much the story's blowing up in the normal world away from wrestling, the wrestling fan base. But it's one of those, I don't think it's that surprising, really.
Not really that surprising that Jim Ross at least has made a comment on it. It's one of those things that I imagine we will see pop up over the next few years where people are asked about the allegations and his departure from the company, and we'll get statements like these.
As more comes to light, I think that's you're completely correct there. But moving over to AEW now, this one from the Wrestling Observer newsletter. Adam Page is set to be on a brief hiatus due to family-related matters, but it's reportedly not due to any negative circumstances. The exact time frame for his return is not currently, it's not currently known. Sorry, my phone, not my phone, my
your fancy
was
smartwatch
going off, the alarm there. It's not currently known when he's set to be back, but in an effort to explain his absence, a TV angle was implemented where the Bucks suspended him without pay. This storyline twist making him a babyface upon his return. It's a bit unconventional, potentially, because, I mean, he's been doing some great work recently, and
he kind of turned heel at Revolution.
The Bucks are kind of, people are enjoying what the Bucks are doing quite a lot. So unless they're somehow going to be the face in the situation, but given the fact that he attacked Remsburg, and that's something that AEW tend to find talent for.
And
very classic manner.
Absolutely. Well, Hangman, I feel like solidified his heel turn at Revolution just this past weekend, and having the Bucks go in conflict with him does make him seem more like a babyface. However, that's maybe just a bit too black and white, a bit too sort of like, because they've gone for
shades of grey.
Why? Yeah, heels have issues with other heels, and Hangman could be a bad dude, bad cowboy.
But I think you can have a few weeks of grey, and then it needs to go very clear. Because I think if it goes grey for too long, then everybody gets confused, and then everything goes weird, and it's like,
It's very quick. My 2 cents on it. I think Hangman is going to be a heel who thinks he's a face.
Yeah.
So it means that he's still feuding with heels, but everyone starts to cheer the other guy. Because it's Hangman.
I guess, that makes sense.
Because he's been beating up Swerve and stopping that world title from going around Swerve's waist.
Well, we mentioned before as well here, but Mercedes Monae potentially, I mean, it's a lock. It's an absolute lock. She's going to AEW, but she appeared on the Kick Rocks podcast to just sort of, I guess, was just generally address what's going on right now.
Yes, so she was on there, and there was a numerous amount of things that she said, but one key quote that was not published in the main interview, which we've already covered, was about WWE.
Yeah.
And she sort of made reference to the fact that she's going to go back there.
Yeah.
She said, and I quote, "I know I'm going back there one day, okay? So it's not over. Like I said, I have a lot of unfinished business in wrestling in a lot of places."
Thanks for the money, Tony. I'll give you a couple of years and then I'll back off to the big leagues.
Wait, that's exactly what it sounds like, which is baffling.
I'm sorry, and I know that it wasn't intended to come off like that, but it's hilarious.
Right.
Like the fact that Tony's probably just absolutely like written a massive check and be like boom and done everything possible to secure Mercedes Monae for the company, for her to just go, well, I'm going back to WWE, obviously.
It's so strange that like, she's meant to be debuting on AEW TV this coming Wednesday.
What if she doesn't? What if he just goes, you know what, go back there now, see you later.
Go. Like, it's crazy, but like we've seen that in the past though, right? Where WWE has gone, take the money from WCW. Yeah. They've given you a better. We can't match it. Right? We can't match that offer. AEW's probably shelled out a lot of money for Mercedes money, and probably rightfully so. Yeah. She is someone that will help. I don't want to say change perspective of the company because that's not right, but help bring eyes to the company.
She'll bring a certain level of prestige to the presentation, and like her talent as a performer is unrivaled. Right?
She can elevate everyone else she's in the ring with.
Exactly.
It's just
I think I don't think it was ever in doubt that maybe one day we'd see her pop back up in WWE. But it was just a weird thing to hear her say it.
Yeah, don't say that when you're about to debut for the other company.
Now, if you've got a hot drink, put it down, sit down. If you're standing up, you're probably gonna poo yourself with anger at this.
So maybe people should grab a cold drink.
Maybe grab a cold drink. Maybe sit over the toilet if you are prone to poo in when you're angry. But during WWE SmackDown last night, Logan Paul, the WWE United States Champion, yes, I know that makes you very happy, revealed that in line with what we'd heard yesterday, that WWE were maybe going to, as some would say, desecrate the ring with logos. But I'd say, we've had it too good for too long. It makes sense that there'd be logos all over the ring. He revealed that Prime is set to be WWE's first center ring sponsor.
Yeah, they're the official hydration drink partner.
We can't call it energy drink. We can't call it water. It's a whole jar of jam in it and some liquid. It's Prime.
It's a hydration drink, which that is most drinks, right? But anyway, it says Logan Paul in a statement it said that we've been working incredibly hard at Prime to build a brand that disrupts the beverage industry, and it's time to join forces with the global leader in sports entertainment. He said, thank you to everyone on both sides who played an important role in bringing Prime Hydration to the ring. It's a big logo in the center of the ring. It's going to be there for every premium live event. Though. It's not that big.
I would say it's smaller than this table.
Probably, yeah.
And it's like, if that's the big logo, then how many more logos are there going to be?
Yeah, how many more are we getting? But it's going to be there on the ring canvas for every single premium live event, including and starting with WrestleMania 40. But he did so on SmackDown alongside his Prime co-host and co-owner, KSI.
He did, yeah.
Which during SmackDown, obviously, he came to the ring. Logan Paul's had a couple of issues with Randy Orton recently. And Randy Orton took them by surprise after they announced the Prime logo announcement on the ring canvas. Logan Paul escaped the RKO, but KSI got hit with an RKO. Very satisfying.
KSI is just there to sort of take hits for
props
Logan.
to him.
Yeah.
Props to him. He's coming in. He's going, yeah, I'll take an RKO.
The last time he got put through an announce table, like it's yeah.
Well,
I feel bad for the guy.
He even took to Twitter to express his confusion about this and said, why am I always just getting beat up in WWE? Obviously, last time he was the Prime bottle that got beat up, and now he's getting a Prime bottle poured on him.
Nitro girls, but Prime bottles. Come on.
Do it, Logan.
I wouldn't care if you do that. Get a load of Prime bottles dancing in cages by the WrestleMania entrance. I would howl. You have dance breaks between each match with just
WrestleMania
like
40.
90s. Yeah, that's the one. People of Philly will love it.
Yeah, they will actually.
Get the Philly mascot in there. They'll initially boo it and then put him in there and they'll be like, way!
The Liberty Bell.
Yeah, that's the one. Benjamin Franklin or whoever it is.
Doing the Daniel Garcia dance. Yeah.
But that's it for your second dose of lovely bumper weekend wrestling news. We may be back later on if anything else breaks, but if not, stay safe. We'll see you, through the weekend with more content. So keep it here on the channel, and we'll be back next week with more news on Monday. So yeah, bye.